You haven't
in
been
this
allowed.
cabinet.
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
allowed.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said,
stupid
thank
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment.
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
Yes. What about West
if
again?
you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak-
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days.
This is the absolute greatest fucking thing I have ever seen in my life. Let me tell you something, brother. When I watched this live, I tuned in, I sat down because it was well known that Zelenskyy was coming to town. He was going to be in the country. He was going to be visiting the White House. This was public knowledge. Zelenskyy was on his way to town. And then, all of a sudden, they're just talking, things are going fine, and then all hell breaks loose. These two just going at it tooth and nail. I fucking love it. It actually started with JD because JD was talking about security assurances, and Zelenskyy, what assurances? He questioned JD in the Oval Office, and JD flipped the fuck out. Here's how it played out as I watched it. I'm sure you've seen the video, but it never gets old, so let's watch it a little bit more.
We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it.
Thinking we start cutting cars.
That's a good point to break, right? With an ad. I hate these fucking ads. I got everything all queued up and then the ads play. You have great big ocean. You don't feel now, but you will feel.
I need to drop my belly fat.
Don't fucking tell me what I'm gonna feel, bitch. Oh, did Trump go off?
In the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're doing.
You did tell. You literally just said you will feel. I'm not trying to tell, but you will feel.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influenced.
We're going to feel very good.
We're going to feel very good about this.
It is very strong.
You will feel influenced.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
You're
playing cards.
Mr. President.
I'm not playing cards. You're playing cards. You're fucking gambling.
You're playing cards.
Serious.
You're gambling with the lives of
war.
millions of people.
You're
gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once this entire meeting? No.
They just continue to double team him. I won't play the whole entire thing. I think you guys have seen it. This is absolutely hilarious. I loved this. Let me tell you, this made my Friday afternoon. Sitting down watching this, it happened right around noon. I think it was very early that they did this, and this just absolutely made my day. This was so funny. I laughed out loud. I was cheering. I was like, hell yeah, go get him. Apparently, Zelenskyy showed up to sign this mineral rights deal to pay us back for all the fucking weaponry and support that we've been giving them to fight their stupid bullshit war that really doesn't concern us at all. And that deal did not get signed. In fact, we heard that Zelenskyy got chucked out of the White House. He got the old bootski. Kick him in the pants on the way out. They didn't even get to have the lunch that was made for them that they were going to have. Apparently, they let the White House staffers and stuff eat the lunch. Press, eat the lunch. Here, eat this lunch. Eat Zelensky's lunch. Oh, it's fucking great. Oh, it's fucking great. Just a little bit more.
In this
Even
entire meeting,
today,
have you said thank you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please.
JD don't fuck around either. JD is almost as aggressive, if not more sometimes, than Trump is. JD went on the attack here. He schooled Europe a couple weeks ago, too, when he went over there and told them to quit censoring and quit locking people up for bullshit. Trump, of course, dropped this little nugget after the meeting with Zelenskyy, a statement from Donald J. Trump. We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. It's amazing what comes out through emotion. And I have determined that President Zelenskyy is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage. I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he's ready for peace. Ooh. Excuse me. Getting over a cold here. My apologies. I apologize. I got a cold. My kid brought home a cold. A little snot-nosed germy fuckers at school bring home colds, and now I get sick, and I'm trying to record a video, and I apologize to you. You don't need to hear that, but I digress. Trump then later made a public statement as he had this to say when the cameras caught up to him.
We had a meeting today, as you know, with President Zelenskyy, and I would say it didn't work out exactly great from his standpoint. I think he very much overplayed his hand. We're looking for peace. We're not looking for somebody that's going to sign up as strong power and then not make peace because they feel emboldened, and that's what I saw happening. I'm looking for peace. We're not looking to go into a 10-year war and play games.
That's exactly it. That's nail on the fucking head. We're done with this war. I'm sure, there's a bajillion libs out there, and you can find them all over X and stuff like that with their cute little blue and yellow flags, oh, we stand with Ukraine and blah, blah, blah. In fact, I'm going to pop over onto X and show you a few responses on this thing from both sides. Because, of course, libs saw this as an absolute disgrace and disaster and a disgrace to our country and how these bullies in the office. I have so much respect for Zelenskyy and blah, 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 blah. It's a true democracy, even though he suspended elections, even though he's imprisoned his political opponents, even though he drives a van around the fucking streets of Ukraine and scoops up males and women and anybody that they want and forces them, literally kidnaps them off the streets and forces them to go fight in the war. But democracy, folks. Yeah. It's in their constitution. When they're in the war, they can suspend. We had elections. We did it. Well, how can people vote while they're out fighting? I don't know. We did it. We did it. Even if you don't, how do you, his political prisoners are in prison, right? Some fucking democracy they have over there, but libs won't tell you that. No, he is a little dictator, and don't let anybody tell you any fucking different. And this little meatball wants to fight this war. He wants the money train continuing to come in, and he wants to continue to fight his war. He wants American troops on the ground or some kind of further promise. And, you know, the biggest bullshit thing about this is that this mineral rights deal was already worked out. This was already done. Marco Rubio had already gone over to Ukraine and worked this out. This was a done deal. This was a publicity stunt. This was just Zelenskyy coming over for a photo op to officially sign the docs, hug the president on camera. Oh, we got this great new deal. Excuse me. But instead, no, I want more security. What do you mean more security? We're making a business deal with you to go in to mine your fucking minerals, right? So while we're in your country doing business, mining the fucking minerals, Russia's not going to invade your country because we're there. That's the security deal. We have a vested interest in your country now because we're doing business with your country. That's the deal. Right now, we don't have a vested interest in your country. Democracy and Putin's a Hitler and he's going to take over Europe and blah, blah, blah. I don't buy that for a second. Not 1 second. Putin invaded Ukraine because Putin didn't want NATO on his border. Simple as that. Kamala Harris went over to the Ukraine and essentially promised or gave a verbal, yeah, we'll look into getting you into NATO. And as soon as Putin heard that, he invaded Ukraine because he was not going to sit around and let us put a bunch of military bases and missiles along their fucking border, especially at the part where he's going to have access to ports and stuff. A part of the country, by the way, that is all Russian people. A great way that this was, I heard this put by, I can't remember who I was listening to, I apologize, but essentially they described it like the way that like Texas and Arizona, New Mexico, maybe not so much Arizona, but the Texas for sure, New Mexico has a lot of Mexican Americans. They're Mexican heritage. They came from Mexico. They were part of Mexico at one point before, we expanded our territory. Same thing. The parts of Ukraine that Russia took were already part of Russia to begin with. Of course, Dems will say, oh, well, he wants to redo the whole USSR and he's going to take over all of it. He's going to, we give him an inch, he's going to take a mile. Look, if that happens, that's got to be part of the deal that's on the table. We make a deal, right? Spin the wheel, make a deal. We make a deal to cease fire, to end this war between Ukraine and Putin. That's one of the things that are on the table for Putin. Okay, you can have this part of, he's going to get land. He's not going to give, Ukraine's not getting all of their land back. That's not going to happen. Ukraine's not going to be in NATO. That's not going to happen. Both those things are out the window. So Putin's going to get a little chunk of something out of this, right? In return, he's got to agree that he's not going to invade that country again or any other country again, because we will go in at that point and we will shut his ass down hard. That's got to be the plan, because Zelenskyy does have a little bit of a point that Putin has agreed to ceasefires before and then just moved right back in. Then you got the Dems. Oh, Trump's kissing Putin's ass. He's a Putin puppet. Dude, he's not going to come out and criticize and hate on Putin when he's trying to make a deal. This is the art of the deal guy. This astounds me, right? All these fucking bonehead liberal douchebag commentators that think they know how to do deals better than Donald Trump. First of all, he's made billions of dollars from making deals. His whole life, he's been a deal maker. That's his job. That's all he ever was, a businessman, a deal maker. I make deals. He knows how to. He wrote The Art of the Deal. And that's not just a bullshit name of the book, like that book before everybody knew Trump, hated Trump for being a president, when he was just a celebrity and doing The Apprentice and stuff. The Art of the Deal was a very well-respected how-to business book from the guy who knows it. Not only that, but he knows Putin. He knows Zelenskyy. He knows these players. He's talked to them. He's met with them. He's spent time on the phone with them. Have these liberal commentators? No. So they don't know how to do a deal. They're not smarter at deal making than Trump. Otherwise, they'd be billionaire businessmen as well, and they're not. They got big mouths on the internet. And they don't talk to these foreign leaders, so they don't know them. They don't know the game. What you don't do is what Biden did. That's what the liberals want to see. They want to see Putin be, called a dictator, and that he's going to take over all of Europe, and he's a madman who has no respect for, he just wants to conquer land and territory and reclaim the USSR. He's the second coming of Hitler, or third coming if you think Trump's the second coming of Hitler, of course. Everybody's Hitler nowadays, right? Elon, he's Hitler too. Everybody's Hitler. That's the catchphrase, right? And they want to just shut him out. Oh, they're mad he's even talking to Putin. How dare you talk to Putin? How dare you give him credibility? How dare you welcome him in? Invite him to the United... Fuck off with all of that. Do you want a ceasefire or not? The thing is that they don't. That's the thing. These liberals don't want a ceasefire. They don't want to see an end to this war. I stand with Ukraine. We'll fight as long as it takes. What you're really saying is, I don't care how many Ukrainians die and Russian people die for us to get the upper hand on Putin, for us to just get a win over Putin and really stick it to him. People are dying. That was Trump's whole thing. Hey, are you going to do this? I want to put an end to the war. I want to see it end. Zelenskyy sad that Trump's not completely on his side. Oh, I'd rather see him on my side. He said this on, he was on Bret Baier. I don't know how much of this clip I have available or what we'll play here, but here is Zelenskyy on Bret Baier. After he was kicked out of the White House, while he's still in the United States, he continued to plead his case on Fox News. Check this out.
President Trump said after your meeting that you disrespected him and the vice president and all of America in the Oval Office. Do you think you did? And do you think you owe an apology to President Trump?
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for the invitation for this dialogue, and good evening to all your country, to all Americans. I'm very thankful to Americans for all your support. You did a lot. I'm thankful to President Trump and to Congress bipartisan support. And I was always very thankful from all our people. You helped us a lot from the very beginning during 3 years of full-scale invasion. You helped us to survive. Anyway, we are strategic partners. And even in such tough dialogue, and I think we have to be very honest. And we have to be very direct to understand each other, because it's for us very necessary to President Trump. And I'm with all respect that he wants to finish this war, but nobody wants to finish more than we, because we in Ukraine, we are in this war, we are in this battle, and battle for freedom for our lives. So I'm just telling that I think that we have to be on the same side, and I hope that the president on our side together with us, and that is very important to stop Putin. And I heard from President Trump a lot of times that he will stop the war, and I hope he will, and we need to pressure him with Europe, with all the partners. And I think this dialogue had to be a little bit earlier to understand where we are. Like, you know, I don't remember exactly, but like President Reagan said, that peace is not just an absent the war. Yes, we are speaking about just and lasting peace, about freedom, about justice, about human rights. And that's why I said that I think so, that ceasefire, and you know Putin, he broken 25 times ceasefire during all these years, 10 years.
So I'm not hearing from you, Mr. President, a thought that you owe the president an apology.
No,
So what you're saying is you don't apologize. Well, I love me some Brett Baer, even though he's, look at that. Boy, he had some work done, hasn't he? He continues, he's got the face stretch going on. Don't ever let that happen to me when I'm all old and shit. Don't let me come on here and be like, hey, what's up, guys? I look completely normal. This has always been my face. I digress. That's not fair. That's mean. He's on TV. He's got to look good, right? But obviously, you know, had the whole face stretch thing going on. Putin's full of shit too. Zelensky's full of shit. Oh, I want peace and liberty and freedom. And no, you don't. You fucking pull people off your streets and throw them in vans, and then you send them out to war. Right? People that don't want to fight your bullshit war, you pull them right off the streets. Not even a draft. They literally have a van driving around and pulling people off the streets. He has imprisoned his political opponents. This man does not believe in freedom. This man does not believe in democracy. He is a little meatball dictator. This little fucker is a greedy bitch, and we got a bunch of missing money, by the way. Where's the money? Where is the missing money? And Brett Baer asks him about that somewhere along here too. I don't have that timestamp, so not going to scroll through this whole 20-minute video to try to find it, but it's in there. The whole thing is the mineral rights deal. We want the minerals and we will secure your freedom. Zelensky wants more than that. I don't know. Does he want sanctions on Russia? Does he want us to fucking put troops on the ground? Does he want us to drop a nuke on? I don't know what else does he need? If we're doing business with your country, we have a vested interest in your country. Maybe there does need to be stronger wording. I just, you know, the security is an afterthought. Trump said that in his meeting with Zelensky. Everybody keeps asking me about securities. Let me make the fucking deal first. Let me get a ceasefire. Let me get a deal made on the table with Putin. Then we can talk about how we're going to secure it long term. And look, man, you don't negotiate and make a deal with Vladimir Putin by calling him Hitler and blacklisting him and kicking, you know, refusing to talk to him like Biden. Biden probably just refused to talk to him because he wouldn't know how to talk to him. You know, Putin would have verbally kicked his ass and Biden would have left that conversation with his tail tucked between his old ass legs. Those hairy legs. He rubbed my hairy legs. Trump's the master, man. He is the art of the deal. And like I said, I'm tired of all these liberal douchebags and their opinions. And I do check them out, by the way. In fact, here's one I checked out. Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks. Definitely a liberal, definitely a way different perspective than I have always. But I at least appreciate Cenk for being more, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, he's a populist, you know, he's not necessarily like corporate elite. He's not the far left extremist. He's not a complete insane maniac, but here's a really bad take from him nonetheless as he gives his spin on this, which is just absolutely wrong and pulled out of his ass, and I don't know where he gets it from.
But understand that the mineral rights are what's causing all of this. and understand that the top mineral we're talking about is lithium. That's what goes into Tesla's batteries. So that's the curveball here. Elon somehow got involved in this mess, and now we can't get to a negotiated peace that we all want, because now there's a third actor involved, America / all of Elon Musk corporations, saying, no, I want a piece of the action. Where the hell did you come from? And why are you making this harder? Okay, so I'll get back to that.
Bullshit take. He pulled that completely out of his ass. Where's he even getting that from? He's taking 2 and he's taking 2 and he's trying to make 5 or 6 out of it. There's no 4 there. You can't just pull that out. Oh, there's lithium over there. That's one of the minerals we're going to be mining. Clearly, Elon Musk could use some of that lithium. So Elon Musk must be the puppet master behind the scenes, making this whole agreement difficult. He pulled that completely out of his ass. A very bad and stupid take by Cenk Uygur, but of course, I'd expect nothing less out of him. I respect the guy, but I do not agree with him ever. Really bad take. It's not complicating the deal. He wants peace. That's why I'm saying I respect him. He's not saying let's fight this endless war or anything like that. A deal needs to be made. But he's also the dumbass that's out here trying to talk about, oh, Trump shouldn't have did this and Trump shouldn't have did that. And if he wants to make a deal, he's got to, Cenk Uygur is really the guy that needs to lecture Donald fucking Trump about how to make a deal with foreign fucking dictators. Yeah. This guy really knows exactly what's up, right? His little Young Turks network and shit. Sure, I'm sure he's a very wealthy man off of his own little network. Except, he was on Timcast one night with Tim Pool, and they were talking about their ad rates or whatever, and Tim makes way more money off ads than Cenk does. So I'm not even convinced Cenk's a good businessman at podcasting. Though he's, it's a much bigger show than I would hope to have, so I can't criticize too hard. But he doesn't need to sit on his show and lecture Donald Trump about how to negotiate with Putin. What the fuck? You don't know Putin. You've never talked to Putin a day in your life. You don't know how he, you know what I mean? There's nuance to this. And Trump said as much in his meeting with Zelenskyy today. You can't just, he said, what do you expect me to talk shit about Putin and then call Putin up and be like, so what about a deal? No, you don't go in the media, talk shit, disrespect Putin, and then expect him to come to the table. It doesn't make any fucking sense. But all these liberal douchebags will say that he's kissing Putin's ass.
So in terms of what Zelenskyy did wrong, look, I watched the whole thing. You got 40 minutes in the beginning. Things are going relatively okay. Then where did it start to go wrong? It was Zelenskyy asking Vance a question. Now, normally they're answering the reporters' questions, and Zelenskyy asked a question of Vance that did challenge him. Now, it wasn't rude, but it was challenging, right? So he didn't call him any names. He didn't say the things that Trump and Vance said that you just saw with your own eyes. But Zelenskyy started that interaction. Okay, then from then on, JD Vance took apparently great offense to that and then just started insulting him and Ukraine and the war effort, and then it devolved and you saw the rest. Okay, so you could say, hey, if you're Zelenskyy and you're coming hat in hand and we've given them, we've assigned $183 billion to go there. We've already spent $140 billion. A little bit complicated because the weapons do go there, but there are older weapons. The money's actually going to defense of Vance and Trump. Guys, I'm not like other people. And I think you all know that in a lot of ways. But what I mean by that is I mind that mess a lot less than I mind the substance, right? If we had that mess of a conflict in the Oval Office, everybody's like, oh, aghast, the diplomacy is broken down. Well, kind of, maybe, but it really depends on the substance and the result. So if you got that kind of weird shouting match that we don't expect, it is unprecedented in our lifetimes where the president yells at one of our allies in the Oval Office with cameras in there, but maybe chalk it up to transparency. Okay, it's a really generous take on it. But when you get to the substance, no, look at all these things that Trump and Vance in that confrontation are just giving away leverage to Russia in everything they say. They say, you don't have enough manpower. You've got problems on the front lines. When you bring people into your country, you're just doing a propaganda tour, like he's the bad guy. And then Russia's not doing propaganda. The Ukrainians are doing propaganda. Trump said over and over again, you're not in a good position. You don't have any cards. You might create World War III. You're not winning. So guys, why that's so important, no matter what side of the political divisions you are here in the US, I hope that all of us want to get to peace. When you are trying to get a deal with the other side, that is, yes, Russia is other side here, you want to show as much strength on your side as possible. I mean, we're in good shape, Ukraine's in good shape, we can keep this war going forever.
Bad take. Cenk Uygur lecturing us on how Donald Trump should be negotiating his deal with Vladimir Putin. He doesn't know Putin. He's not a billionaire businessman who wrote the fucking book on the art of the deal. I'm sorry. We don't need your bullshit takes. It's a bad take. We got a little bit of a different take here from the other side from Senator Lindsey Graham. Let's see what he had to say.
At the end of the day, I was hoping that this minerals deal, which would be transformative in the relationship, would go over well. I talked to Zelenskyy this morning. Don't take the bait. President Trump was in a very good mood last night. Somebody asked me, am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance standing up for our country. We want to be helpful. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelenskyy again.
Well, that's not a bad, that's kind of a bad take too.
I think most Americans saw a guy that they would not want to go in business with. The way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president was just over the top. So I think the relationship between Ukraine and America is important, vitally important. But can Zelenskyy do a deal with the United States? After what I saw, I don't know.
I think after that, he calls for him to resign. That's what I was looking for there. That's a bad take, too. Look, this was litigated out in public, which was nasty and brutal and highly entertaining. But we can't be so foolish to think that diplomacy hasn't gotten that ugly before behind closed doors in the entire history of the presidency. That's fucking ridiculous. Every leader of any country around the world is going to have an ego. They're going to be on their own power trip. They're going to be smelling their own farts and thinking it smells amazing. So you can't say, oh, the way Putin or Zelenskyy carried himself and that kind of, no, man, arguments are fine. I'm okay with arguments, and I'm okay with Zelenskyy, arguing it out with Trump and Vance, arguing his point. I thought it was hilarious the way he got absolutely bitch slapped, the way he got absolutely wrecked. It was an embarrassment to Zelenskyy. He was made to look like the little bitch that he is. But this is diplomacy. This has happened throughout our history, and you'd be foolish to think that Trump's the first guy ever to get in an argument with a foreign leader. That's fucking silly. Let's check out some takes on this on Twitter while we have it. Alex Jones. Let's see what the Jones man has to say here. What's his take on this?
I'm predicting within 2 weeks Zelensky's gone, but the fall of Zelenskyy is a harbinger of the fall of the entire globalist system. But the next few days and weeks is the most dangerous time when they may set off a nuke, blame it on Iran or Russia, false flag in Europe or here. That's when Zelenskyy said, oh, you're not in trouble yet, but you do this, you get hit, you soon be in pain. Trump's been briefed, they're planning a false flag. I said it first a year ago. Russia's been warning. And that's when Trump heard that, he was like, whoa, everything Jones told me is true. Damn right. When am I wrong? This is all I do. But the good news is the FBI raided the FBI yesterday. They've caught James Comey's daughter that ran the cover-up of the pedophile rings, Jeffrey Epstein, with the documents. It's going down. This is a real revolution.
That was Alex Jones, who is absolutely not a conspiracy theorist. It's funny that his first take is just going to be a false flag. There's going to be a blah, 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 I predict. But you have heard the old saying, right? Alex Jones is always right. Alex Jones was right. Now, he just said something interesting there. There was a raid at the FBI. I had not heard that yet, so I'm going to look into that a little bit further because I haven't heard that from anybody that's not Alex Jones. And say what you like about Alex Jones, but he's not a hard fact that, I'm not going to take his word. Look at this clown here down below. Retweet if you stand with President Zelenskyy. Oh, our fearless. Look at these clowns. They hate on our president, but they love this douchebag. They are so far up their own ass with their Trump derangement syndrome. It's embarrassing. They don't want a ceasefire. They just want Trump to lose. They want Ukraine to keep fighting until they kill Vladimir Putin. It's never going to happen. And we got Bill Crystal here with his comment. 2 people disrespected the United States in the Oval Office today, President Trump and Vice President Vance. 1 person spoke in the best of American tradition, President Zelenskyy. Ah, yes, the great President Zelenskyy, who locks his political prisoners up and recruits his soldiers by stealing them off the street while they're walking to go get some milk for their grandma, right? Fucking clown. Fucking clown. So we're Ukrainian now? That's funny. Benny Johnson with an alternative take. This is the most historic bitch slap in American history. Yes, absolutely. I 100% agree with him on that. That is exactly what this was. Brian Krasenstein. Oh no, this is cringy. This is utterly repulsive. Trump and Vance just tried to humiliate Zelenskyy live on American TV, smugly demanding gratitude. Hold on, full stop before we go further. Demanding gratitude? Do we not deserve gratitude? Your country wouldn't exist if it wasn't for us. Yeah, a little gratitude goes a long way. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. I apologize for that. Snot-nosed kids, you know what I'm saying? Coming home from school, spreading the bugs everywhere. Smugly demanding gratitude. Not like we haven't been keeping their fucking country alive or anything. Not like he's coming over with hat in hand begging for more money, for more support. But how dare we demand gratitude while he's being a fucking dick face in the Oval Office, questioning the vice president in the Oval Office? Come on, man. Gratitude while openly mocking him like a playground bully is counting favors. Counting favors? This wasn't like, hey, I remember when I borrowed you my pencil in math class? Now, you remember when I borrowed you $5 to buy lunch the other day? Can you pay that back? No, we're not counting favors. This is billions of taxpayer dollars, you dummy. Billions going to fight a foreign war that we have nothing to do with. We don't care. Putin's not Hitler. He's not taking over Europe. We're not defending Ukraine so that Putin doesn't keep going after that. It's bullshit. I'm so fucking fed up with these dumbass liberals and their stupid takes on this shit. It's embarrassing. My respect for Zelenskyy and my embarrassment as an American just surges off the charts. I'm beyond disgusted. You fucking clown. You fucking clown. What else? We got one more here. Bernie Sanders. Trump berates Zelenskyy. I can't do voices. The leader of the democratic country courageously fighting Russian imperialism while he allies himself with Putin, a dictator who started at the bloodiest European war in 80 years. who started the bloodiest European war in 80 years. Sorry, President Trump, we believe in democracy, not authoritarianism. This is fucking rich. Look at, there's idiots down below. Impeach, bunch of sheep. Look, Bernie doesn't even know what he's talking about. Of course he knows what he's talking about. He's smarter than this. He's just playing the fucking game. Trump berates Zelenskyy. Courageous fighting Russian imperialism, while he allies himself with Putin. Again, how are you going to make a deal with this fucking clown if you're berating him every time you get on the media? Biden would have never been able to make a deal with Putin because he refused to even talk to Putin. And every chance he got, he called him an evil dictator who's going to try to take over the world and he's the next Hitler and blah, 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 blah. Sorry, President Trump, we believe in democracy, not authoritarianism. Yeah? What democracy? What democracy does Zelenskyy have? Huh? What's Zelensky's democracy over there? Is it suspending elections? That's democracy? Oh, it's in the Constitution. Okay. We voted during wars. We had elections during wars here in this country. Excuse me, dummy. I don't care if it's in their Constitution. Even if you want to give them that. Democracy. He imprisons his political opponents. That's democracy? Of course, we tried to do that here. The Biden administration tried to imprison his political opponent. Apparently, that is democracy nowadays. Not authoritarianism. Is it not authoritarianism to, I don't know, drive around in a fucking van and kidnap your own fucking people while they're walking down the street to get milk for their grandma and send them out to the front lines to die? For what? For what? For what? I call bullshit on all this. This whole fucking thing, the entire situation, all these liberals, they all got bad takes. Look, at the end of the day, here's the situation. Trump's a tough negotiator. He's tough on Zelenskyy, but they're going to make a deal. There's a lot of people saying, oh, are we even going to have a deal or not? Trump laid it out for him. Look, we're either going to have a deal on this mineral fucking gimmick or we're out. And we should be out anyway because we voted for that. The people that voted Trump into office do not want to be in this war. All the crazy liberal lefties want to be in this war because they think Putin's Hitler and he's going to take over all of Europe if we let him win this one. I'm of the opinion, not my monkeys, not my circus. Not my problem. Oh, you got invaded? Sorry about your damn luck, bro. That sucks. I feel bad for you. Now, there is one other caveat to this that I should bring up just in the interest of fairness. Bill Clinton made a deal back with Ukraine when we denuclearized them that we would protect them. Well, we have protected them so far, but we can't continue to fund an endless war. We can protect you to an extent. I believe in that. I think we should keep our word, right? A little bit, anyway. We can't just go back on that. I would have never made that deal. Maybe that was a good deal at a time. Maybe I would have. I take that back. Denuclearizing is always a good idea. I think we should continue that path as well. In fact, Trump has talked about that. Talking with Russia and all the other nuclear countries about completely getting rid of all the nukes. All of them. Because there's no winning with nukes. There's no winning. Whoever launches the first nuke will strike first, but they'll die last. That's it. Everybody dies. You launch a nuke, it's death for everybody on the whole planet. Because if you shoot a nuke at somebody, we're going to shoot a nuke at you, and then you're going to shoot another nuke back. Before you know it, the entire planet's radiated and destroyed. It's nasty. So I get that aspect of it, but we cannot continue to fund an endless fucking war that we have zero interest in. At least with this option on the table with the minerals, you could argue we have an interest in Ukraine now. Now we have an invested interest in you guys. Besides the little peace deal that we made back in the day. I respect that, but we cannot continue sending taxpayer money over there to just get wasted and disappear and make this fucking douchebag rich and make his wife go on little shopping trips and all of that. It's done. It's got to be done. We got to put an end to this. I do believe Trump will put an end to this. I do believe that diplomacy is happening. I do believe even though these guys got in an argument, they will work it out because Zelenskyy has no choice but to work it out. He can't tell Trump to go fuck himself because his whole country will blow up and die. Putin will just take it over. On the flip side, I also think Trump will be able to make a deal with Putin. And you don't do that by calling him an evil dictator and Hitler and refusing to talk to him and all this other. You got to butter him up a little bit. And Trump knows Putin. He's talked to him many times. He's met with him. He knows this guy enough to know how to sweet talk him a little bit, right? It's the art of the deal. Trump knows how to schmooze everybody. And this will be no different. I hope we see an end to this. I refuse to keep paying for this bullshit, stupid war that we have no business in. I don't have any kind of moral, we got to keep fighting because Putin's evil and Ukraine's good and they're victims. And no. Zelensky's a little dictator that we put in power, by the way, because whoever was going to be in power over there was kind of buddy-buddy with Putin. So we decided, let's overthrow that douchebag and put in somebody that's friendly with us. Trump's not going to play that shit. This was the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Might be hyperbole, but I don't know, man. I laughed a lot. This will go down as one of the most infamous things. Look, we're only 30 days into this presidency, by the way, folks. We got 3 years and 11 months left of this kind of shit. I'm here for it. Pop the popcorn, baby. This is great. But this will lead to the end of the war because Biden, he didn't negotiate shit like this. You would have never seen Biden have this conversation. This is Trump style, baby. And all the libs can cry their salty little tears about it all they like. At the end of the day, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They just don't. I love it. But what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments below. Love to know your take on that. Peace, love, and pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes, and we'll catch you in the next video.